My name is Hayden Schroeder from the Letcher Central High School.
And I am Derek Smith from the Letchworth Central High School, and we are on the Derek Smith Spiel. Hayden Schroeder needs no intro, but he still gave it to you. So, on the football season, how do you think that went this year?
It was pretty well. It started off pretty slow. We started off 0-2, but probably the two hardest matches in Section 5 with Attica and Leroy. But then we went on a 6-game winning streak there. We ended up finishing 6-2. We lost in the second round of sectionals, but once again, it was Attica. So they've definitely got
They've got your number.
Yeah.
Would you say that the beginning of the season, is that always like a slow start?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Because we're pretty burned out from 2 days because we do 2 straight weeks of 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's like a big milestone. Like you make it through 2 days and you feel invincible. And then for the past couple of years, we've had easy games to start off the season. Like a couple of years ago, we went to play Cardinal O'Hara in Buffalo, who was like terrible. Like we scored 36 points in the first half on them. And then we go to this year playing Leroy and Attica, who are like two of the best teams
top
you're ever
dogs.
see.
Yeah,
and it was definitely an eye opener.
Towards the end of the season, does that feeling of invincibility wear off? Like, how does your body feel after a full season of football?
Honestly, it doesn't feel as bad as you think it would. Like in season, like you definitely hurt a lot. But
Yeah,
you just deal with it because no one cares if you hurt or something like that. They only care if you like break your leg or something like that.
Right.
Definitely when the season's done, you miss it, and after a couple of weeks, the bruises and aches and pains will go away, but it's not really that bad.
It's like once you start, that's probably the worst, the 2 a days. But
100%.
Once you get by it, it's not smooth sailing, but you're kind of used to it, conditioned.
100%.
Now, what position do you play?
Last season I played center and defensive tackle, but this year they're moving me out to left guard, and I'm staying at defensive tackle. But something new on the offensive side of the ball.
Now, what's the difference between center and left guard? Obviously, the center has to snap the ball, but how about blocking assignments and stuff like that?
Center-wise, really, we have a lot of options with our offense, but really I just had to block backside, and go left or go right. That's all I had to do as center.
How big is communication on the offensive line?
It's huge.
Are you shouting at each other during the game to know who's picking up who?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, you're pointing. We literally point out our guy, which one we're getting, and we get him. And
picking up blitzes, how difficult is that?
That's probably the hardest thing you have to do because you'll see one person showing, and the next thing you know, there's 2 guys in the A gap.
And there's so many, you can't trip, right? Tripping's illegal.
Yeah, you cannot trip.
You can't trip. You can't hold. I guess if you're sneaky with it, but
yeah.
What specific workouts do you have to do in those positions?
A lot of agility, actually. We do a lot of ladder
footwork.
Work. Yeah, footwork. Yeah. Footwork is huge. Lateral movements, you got to be quick at that because a guard, you're pulling. Yeah, you've got to be on your horse. You're basically sidestepping until you get around the edge, and then you're hitting the first guy you see.
And running with the back, you've got to open up a space.
So I got to keep up so they don't run into me.
Who is your favorite NFL player at the position you play?
Ooh. Well, Jason Kelsey, definitely. I'm sad to see that he retired, but Jason Kelsey, definitely my favorite.
He's amazing.
He is. I love his beard.
That is a man's beard.
That is a man's beard.
I remember watching one game he played, and the false start, it was his first false start in a long time, but the movement was just so subtle.
Yeah.
Do you ever cramp when you're down in that position?
100%. Yeah, because you're literally just sitting. You're 90 degrees. You're parallel to the ground, just sitting there. And sometimes I've sat there close to a minute before, sitting like that, waiting for the refs to just let me snap the ball.
Yeah. No, being center, sometimes there's hard counts and stuff like that. Are you and the quarterback constantly communicating so that you know when to snap the ball and he knows when it's coming, stuff like that? Or is
Yeah,
that's pretty routine, isn't it?
yeah, that's pretty routine. That's during 2 days. That's normally when we get the timing and all the communication stuff down. To where
Okay.
when we get to beginning of season, halfway through the season, it's like just habit.
Now, when you snap the ball, do you try and like spiral it as you snap it, or you just get it back there the fastest way you can?
They have me snap it. It's called a dead ball. So I like rotate it. I don't try to spiral. It's like you almost want no spin on it. So the way
Okay.
I snap it, say like we have a right-handed quarterback, the laces will fall right into his right hand.
Okay.
So it's almost like a floating snap
Yeah.
because it's high school. We don't have that much time, but like we don't have to blast it back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think the season went overall? You said it was a slow start, then you went on the 6-win streak. Do you think what does the future look like?
Future is definitely looking bright. We're really young next year. Maddox Kelly, who's right now is our new QB1, I'm really excited to see how he's going to show his ability. He's definitely shown it in practice so far, but I definitely feel like we could go far this year.
That is exciting to see new kids come in. And you've got a lot of well, actually I shouldn't assume that. Do you have a lot of people to work with on the football team? Like, do you always know what position you're gonna play each year?
Yeah.
You
so
do.
really during the off-season stuff starts well, we technically started December right after the season ended, and just like off-season workouts, and they basically already have the whole thing planned out for us, and then we get that position down, and it's just 100 miles an hour from there, trying to get as good at it as possible.
Is there what does your off season look like? A lot of lifting.
Oh yeah, 3 or 4 days a week we lift. 1 day a week, like Wednesdays. After we're done lifting, we go out and have an open field, which is just like a non-pad practice.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Are the open fields more fun and laid back than during the season, or is there still an intensity there?
definitely still an intensity.
Yeah.
I don't really. There's maybe 1 day a week where it's like really fun. It's just like a bunch of hitting drills, but it's definitely a lot of like you need to take this seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good to have to bring that into the season. That's man, I'm excited to see how far you guys go next season. On the off-season workouts, what's your favorite workout?
Ooh. A lot of people are probably going to hate me for this, but I'm a big barbell squat, back squat guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's my favorite right now.
No kidding. You're a leg day guy.
Yeah. I used to hate it. Now I love it.
Well, especially your position, you need it. Now, do you use pre-workout or protein powder?
Yeah, I do. I stay off of the pre-workout a little bit more now, but I used to like pound it a lot, like every day at least.
What's your favorite pre-workout to use?
Ooh, probably you can get it right at Walmart. I just use the normal bucked up stuff. It's only like $30 for like 20 servings of it, but they've got like 3 levels where they got normal, then I don't even remember the names. They got crazy names to them, but like each one has higher level of caffeine. You like work your way up for that tolerance, and
then you're hooked. You've got a caffeine addiction.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't get a caffeine addiction.
How do you think the off-season workouts for football, or just anything for football, transfer into basketball season?
Well, you definitely stay well conditioned throughout football season. Lots of sprints, lots of up downs. And it's almost like it's kind of surprising because for an offensive lineman going to play basketball, like I'm keeping up with the guys up and down the court. I'm like, this shouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah. Do you feel faster when you take the pads off and run without pads? Or you can't really tell a difference?
For me, I can't really tell a difference because I'm not really that fast to begin with.
Yeah.
But like, there's sometimes, depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I definitely struggle running too. Long distance I can do, but sprints I'm terrible. But more onto basketball. You guys had what position did you play?
To start the season, I played a big man, but then they had me move between big man and a guard.
So you were a center and a guard.
Yeah.
And you were on varsity this year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the season went?
We did a lot better than a lot of people expected we would.
Did you guys expect to do as well as you did? the first day?
Not really.
When did it kick in that you guys realized we could be more than what we were in years prior?
Probably when we beat Mount Morris the first time, because they were the ones that won the division the past couple of years, and then once we found out that we could beat them, we beat them. It was a really good game.
Yeah.
And we were like, I think we can actually do something with this.
And that brought a huge boost.
Oh, 100%.
What was how about the bus ride home or the locker room after that? What was that pretty insane?
It was really insane. I don't think I've ever seen Mr. King like that happy before.
Could you feel a change in mood as the season went on and as you guys did better?
Yeah. We definitely, like, practices became a lot more serious. Because like there's always time for like joking and giggling and stuff like that, but as we got closer to like crunch time and like towards the end of the season, it definitely got more serious. We were able to get more stuff done.
Yeah, you mentioned it in football and in basketball. The intensity is huge because you want to have fun, but at the same time you've got to have that competitive edge, which is hard. It's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite NBA player at the position you play? It could be guard or center. Obviously, Michael Jordan.
Right now, I like watching Victor Wembanyama.
He's
a
fun
freak
to
of
watch.
nature.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The way he can move with that. What is he, 7'7"?
Yeah, he's huge.
That's such a huge frame. And
yeah.
Did you see when he dressed up like Slender Man?
Mm-hmm.
He looked exactly like Slender
yes,
Man. I would have been terrified if he started running at me. What do you think you are best at in basketball? Like a specific skill?
Probably rebounding.
Really?
Yeah.
That rebounding's, I think that I don't know much about basketball, but I definitely think rebounding's underappreciated.
Yeah.
On both ends. Do you care? Do you prefer offensive or defensive rebounding? Or it doesn't matter.
Offensive rebounding is definitely harder because, you've already got guys boxing you out as soon as they like shoot the ball. But, I'd say like all around rebounding is just like really, really important because that's the one thing Mr. King's always screaming at us about because we always lose the rebounding battle.
And it's difficult to win when you lose the rebounding battle, isn't it?
It really is.
It's that and turnovers. Turnovers are pretty big, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I know they're huge in football. I haven't followed basketball enough to really say, but obviously that's giving the team another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Now into baseball. The last game, who did you play last?
Warsaw.
And you had an insane game. You pitched. How many innings did you pitch?
We ended up mercying them in 5 innings. I ended up pitching all 5 innings.
And you only gave up 3 hits. How many strikeouts did you have?
9.
And at the plate, I heard you hit a triple.
I did.
So what you said you weren't slow. Do you know where the ball ended up so that you got the triple?
I ended up hitting it into the right center gap, and it just kept rolling all the way to the fence. Really, I just put my head down and kept running. And instead of trying to throw it to third to get me out, they ended up throwing it home. And that's how I was able to round to second, getting to third.
You had 5 RBIs, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge game. That's just insane. You did it all. You're like Shohei Ohtani out there. So you pitch, obviously. When you play in the field, what position do you play?
Mainly third base, but this year I'm going to be moving around everywhere. I can do third base, second base, shortstop, first base.
A utility man. That's huge to have as I haven't coached, but I would think that's huge to have as a coach. As a junior, are there any like underclassmen that you have to help on the team? Anything like that?
Really, just when we practice with JV, we've got a couple third basemen. They really don't need to be taught that much. They know the fundamentals, and that's really all you need to know to be good at baseball.
Yeah.
But
and confidence is huge in baseball. It's difficult because you're hitting, at least you're set up for failure, but you got to stay confident up there. Is there anything specific you do to stay confident at the plate?
before I get in the box, I take a really deep breath, and then I
Mhm.
look down at Coach Eustace, who's always standing down there, like waving his hands, going to like calm down. And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Coach, that helps."
Yeah.
And then I always take my time filling in the holes in the batter's box, 'cause I hate holes in the batter's box.
Do you prefer? You've started and relieved games pitching, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer starting or relieving?
Um, I'm kind of weird because there's been years where I really love relieving,
Yeah.
or I just love being able to like finish the great job that the starting pitcher has already like started. And
Mm-hmm.
then this year, I've definitely felt more comfortable starting the game because when I'm on a mound, I know that everyone that's out in the field has my back 110%.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have any errors yesterday, which
It's
was really cool.
that is great. Errors are. It's like you're giving them free base runners. Errors and outs are errors and walks. Those are pretty big. I was talking to Aiden earlier today. He said when you're pitching, you stay in the strike zone, but you usually aren't the most accurate. He said yesterday you were hitting your spots no matter where he put his glove. But are you? Do you emphasize speed? Like, are you a big
That's what I've
high velocity?
growing up. I was always the kid that could throw faster than everyone else, and like as soon as I got to high school, I started to realize that like I throw normal now compared to a lot of people. Yesterday, I definitely felt like I was throwing harder than normal, but
it's crazy how that can happen.
yeah, normally I do just try to push it right past him, and if that doesn't work, I've always got a curveball that I can go to. But it was hanging yesterday, so
Your curveball was hanging.
yeah,
It must have had some type of movement on it because they only got 3 hits.
Yeah.
What pitches do you throw? Fastball, curveball?
Fastball, curveball, and then just a changeup. I don't really throw it that much. I don't have it under control yet, but if I have to, I can throw it.
What do you do? More of like a circle change grip, or
circle change?
That must be difficult to control because you've really got a good grip on it. So I could see it sticking and you spiking it to the plate, but you obviously didn't have that problem yesterday. So hopefully you keep. That's going to be a hard pace to keep up, but that's a huge confidence boost for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to choose just one, hitting or pitching, which one would you choose?
Probably hitting, because I just don't really get that nervous getting into a batter's box as I do pitching. It's like pitching, you're controlling the game.
Right.
And like during games, I'm really good at not like letting that set in. But then there are times when I think about it, I'm like, wow, like everyone's eyes are on me. It's like really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And like batting,
there's
just another
8
guy.
other 8 other batters in the lineup.
Yeah.
And you're expected to get out, really.
Yeah.
Which obviously you don't want to think that, but if you get on base counting walks 4 times out of 10, you're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you did that in high school on a test, you'd be a failure.
Yeah.
What are your goals for this season in baseball?
This season, I really do want to make it back to the sectional title game. After we won it that one year, we realized as a program that we definitely have the talent and potential to go back and do it again. And I definitely feel like we could do it this year.
And you guys have done a lot of off-season training, right?
Yeah.
Like in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Is that mostly batting?
Yeah, we go in the cages a lot. It was basically cages. We did not as much pitching as fielding, but the majority just like fielding and practicing scenarios.
Yeah. Now, last question here. This is off the sports topic.
Alrighty.
I think this is a really tough question. You're a huge fan of Adam Sandler.
Yep.
But you're also a huge fan of Dwayne Johnson.
Yep.
Now, acting duos. If you had to live with just one duo, who would you pick? Adam Sandler and Kevin James, or Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson?
That's a tough one. I'd have to stick with Adam Sandler and Kevin James because they're the OGs.
They are the OGs.
Grown Ups is those 2 movies are probably one of my favorite all-time movies. They're so funny.
They're not going to stop.
No,
They're not going to stop
no, they're not. They're gonna
until
go.
the fat lady sings.
Yeah,
But yeah. Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Hayden. Thanks
yeah.
for
Thanks
coming
for
on. And good luck the rest of the season.
thank you. Thanks for having me on the spiel.
And thank you for listening to episode 6 of the Derek Smith Spiel. I apologize for any background sound. Today we were recording from the Boomerang, so jingling keys and music coming from the band room. I apologize for any of that. Thank you for supporting the podcast and listening through all of that. If you like what you heard, go on Spotify and look up the Derek Smith Spiel. Derek is spelled D-E-R-E-K, not like the oil rig. Also, go onto YouTube and check out Dylan Smith's Outdoors YouTube channel. There's a lot of good videos, and he's been putting them out just about weekly. So stay in tune with that. And of course, if you need your lawn repaired, why don't you give Greenwood Ecologics a call at 585-739-1610. One more time, thank you for listening to the Derek Smith Spiel.